what's up? It's Jayla. What's up? It's Lakh and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about some fun educational things. Okay, I'm going to be talking about makeup brushes, face brushes in particular. I'm going to do a separate video on eye brushes because honestly, when I was learning about makeup, learning one thing at a time is better because learning so many things all at once is really overwhelming. So I'm going to split it up into two so you can watch it at your pleasure, at your leisure, whenever you want. And hopefully you won't feel like there's a bunch of information being thrown at you because there are a couple, few face brushes and there's a lot of eye brushes too. So I don't want to put it all in one, so we're going to split it up into two. But yeah, let's just get started. But before I start, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And yeah, let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna start with how I would usually put my face makeup on. So I'm gonna go in order so it's easier to understand. And so most of my brushes are from Morphe, honestly, because Morphe is really affordable and they're not super expensive, so it's easy to buy quite a few brushes versus buying one brush that amounts to like 3 Morphe brushes. So yeah, I just like Morphe brushes a lot because they're really affordable and easy. And yeah, they're really good too. But I do have other brushes in here too from other brands, but most of them are Morphe brushes, okay? So yeah, let's get started. So my first brush is my foundation brush, and this is the Morphe M439, and it looks like this. So this brush is a really dense, kind of dome-shaped brush. So as you can see here, it looks like this from the top. And yeah, so if we're looking at it like this, it kind of has a dome shape kind of going on. But the point of this brush is that it's really densely packed, so it's nice to put foundation on and to apply foundation with because it's not going to be flimsy and kind of just like drag the foundation everywhere. It's nicely packed, but not too packed where it doesn't move. But yeah, this is just a really easy brush to use, and it's not too big where you're like, oh my god, but it's not really small either that you feel like you're working on your foundation for like 5 hours. So yeah, it's a nice brush and it's really popular on YouTube as well for a good reason because it is really nice. So yeah, this is the foundation brush. And so next up would be concealer. And so usually I always put my concealer on either with a beauty blender or a beauty sponge. So I wanted to just show this too. I know this isn't a brush, but I do generally put on my concealers with either a beauty blender, I'm sorry it's dirty, or I put it on with this beauty sponge, and this one is from Real Technique. So I just want to show you guys these real quick because this is what I usually put my concealer on with. But however, I do have a concealer brush if you're just into brushes and you don't want to mess with the sponges. So this is the Morphe G2, and this is what it looks like. It looks like that. So this brush kind of has an arch shape here at the top, and because of this, it's really easy to just put it right here where your concealer is and then blend your concealer out. So when I put it under my eye, it's a really nice shape to blend everything in here. So because it has that kind of dome shape, it makes it really easy to apply. And this brush blends out the concealer really flawlessly too. It doesn't leave it looking patchy or streaky or anything because it is a brush. It does make it look really nice, and I just kind of pat it usually like this. And then yeah, I just pat it in there and then it just soaks in, and then yeah, there you have it. So yeah, this is the concealer brush. So next I wanted to add a brush in here in case you wanted to cream contour. I don't usually cream contour all that often, but I know some people love to do that. So if you were looking for a brush for that, then I have one. And this is a Morphe G3, and this looks like this. So this is kind of a densely packed flat top kind of brush. And this is really nice for cream contour. So imagine I have my little cream contour lines here and here, right? And so I usually take this and then I will blend out that cream contour, and then I'll start blending upwards because you always want to blend your contour upwards when it's here. And so yeah, I just blend it out like this and then blend it upwards, and this brush is really nice to blend out cream contour. I haven't found another good brush to blend out cream contour, but this one does a really good job. And you can just tell by the shape. The shape is just really nice to blend it all out, but not get the contour too messy, because that's another thing. You don't want your cream contour brush to be too big, because that's gonna blend your contour out into a lot of different areas if you have a big brush. So this brush is really nice and it's little, so it's easy to control your contour. So yeah, this is a really good one. So next, after you put your cream products down, we move on to powders. So this is a brush that I set my concealer with, and this is a Morphe M438, and it looks like this, and this is just a dome-shaped kind of fluffy brush. So unlike the other ones, this one is a fluffier brush because it's for powder, so we don't really need it to be that densely packed because we're gonna apply powder with it. And so yeah, this brush is my favorite brush for setting my concealer because it just works so good. So I just take whatever powder I'm gonna set with, and then I'll just pat it into here and kind of dab it in so it soaks in real nicely into my concealer. And yeah, it just fits perfectly. It's not too big, it's not too little. It covers a lot of area, but not too much where you just get it everywhere. But yeah, this is a really good one, and then the dome shape makes it easier to apply it right under that under eye. And then next is a face powder brush. So this is a Morphe E2. And so this brush is if you're interested in applying powder to your whole face. So I know people who have oily skin like to powder their whole face just to lock everything in. I have dry skin, so I don't always powder my whole face. I almost don't really do that often, but I know a lot of people who have oily skin do, so I wanted to include this in there. So yeah, this is the Morphe E2, and this is just a really big fluffy powder brush, and this is obviously designed to powder your face because it's freaking huge. And yeah, so this is what the top looks like, and this is a nice brush because it covers a lot of surface and you don't have to spend a whole bunch of time powdering your whole face because it's gonna powder your face like bam, 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 boom, you know? So yeah, this is a nice powder brush if you're looking for something to set your whole face with. So yeah, I would look into this one. Okay, so next is powder contour. So this is the NARS ITA brush, and it looks like this. So, okay, let me just tell you right off the bat, this brush is very expensive, very, very, very expensive, and it's not a necessity. So don't think after watching this video that you need to buy this brush, because you don't. I've said this in another video too, where I've mentioned this, that this brush is really expensive and you don't need it to achieve a nice powder contour. But this, back when I was learning how to do makeup, I watched a whole bunch of videos and I always saw people using the NARS ITA brush to put their contour on with, and so that just persuaded me to get it. But I did learn over time that you don't need this brush to contour. Don't get me wrong, this is a bomb brush to powder contour with because it's really nice and easy to work with, but I just want to point out that you don't need this brush to get a good contour, and I do have another one that's more affordable that I'll show you guys in just a second. But first, let's talk about this one. So yeah, this is the NARS ITA brush, and I'm gonna show you guys it one more time. So this is a flat top, really skinny, sleek type of brush, and the bristles look like this from the top. And then its little handle looks like this. So I also want to show you guys the handle. It's a really skinny handle, so here's a little all-around view of what it looks like. And so I want to show you guys the handle too, because this handle actually makes it really easy to hold it and feather the contour onto your face, because with contour you don't want to go overboard and you don't want to make it look too harsh. So this brush is easy to hold and to get that really feathery look, so you don't go like, you know, super overboard or anything like that. So yeah, and then I also like this brush because of its shape. I do like that it's flat like this, because what I will do is I'll hold my hair back, place my contour right here, and then I'll start to blend it upward. So I'll go like this and motions upward, and I'll hold the brush from the tip, because that's the whole point of it, to hold it from the tip so you're light-handed and not really heavy-handed. Because imagine if you were to hold it like this, you would be really heavy-handed and it would be way too harsh. So you want to hold it from here and then start to feather the contour upwards like this. And yeah, same thing for the other side. Hold it like this and then place it and then feather the contour upwards. So yeah, this brush is really nice and it works really good. It is quite expensive, but good. Okay, next is the affordable contour brush I was telling you guys about. And this is a Morphe E4 and it looks like this. So this brush can also be used for powder contour. And so as you can see, it looks really different from the NARS ITA brush because the NARS ITA brush had a flat top and this one is a slanted top. So it goes like this, but they both work really well. So let me show you guys how I would apply it with this, right? So this, I would take the contour and then I would take the brush like this and then I would just put my line here and then I would just feather it upwards like this. So they both do the same job, it's just they're, you know, obviously a little bit different and the price is very different. But yeah, this brush works really good too, and it's much less expensive than the NARS ITA brush. And then also you can use this brush for blush. I don't really like it to use for blush that much because this brush is really dense, so it applies the color of the blush really intensely and you kind of have to blend it out, or you have to start with a little to begin with. So I like my blush brush to be a little bit more fluffy. I'll show you guys that in a second. Okay, so next is bronzer, and it is the M527 and it looks like this. So this is what the bronzer brush looks like. And this is just an ideal, typical bronzer brush. It's really fluffy. It's a white-haired brush, so it's gonna apply the bronzer not too harsh at all, and it'll be easy to blend with this brush. And so yeah, with bronzer, you want a fluffy brush because you don't want something too packed. Like for instance, like this one, like the cream contour, this is so packed that the bronzer would be so hard to put it on with this, right? So you want something that's nice and fluffy and kind of big so that you can just put that powder on and then blend, 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 and it'll just blend right into the skin and be so easy for you. And I like the shape of this brush too because it's not too small and it's not too big. It's not as big as a powder brush, but it's not small either. So it doesn't take long to cover. Like I have a big forehead, right? And so it doesn't take me long to put the bronzer on my forehead or on my cheeks or anything like that. So yeah, this is a really nice brush and it applies bronzer really well. Okay, next is highlighter. So I have two highlighter brushes, so you can pick whichever one you would prefer or both, whatever. So the first one is a fan brush and it's a Morphe M310 and it looks like this. So this is just a typical fan brush and it's a white-haired brush. So the white-haired brushes will apply the product not as harshly as synthetic brushes. So products like bronzer and highlighters, you don't want it to be applied way too harshly because you kind of want it to be a nice blend into your skin. So these white-haired brushes will do a good job of doing that for you. So yeah, this is a fan brush and I love using this brush. You just put it into the highlighter and then just fan it onto your skin like this. And it works really well, and I kind of go back and forth with this brush and the other one. It just kind of depends what I'm going for. If I'm in the mood to have a lot of highlight and have it be blinding, then I'll typically use a fan brush because I like the way it picks up the product and how much it picks up, and I'll just like fan it everywhere. But yeah, this is a really good one. And then so the other one is a Morphe M510, and this is also a white-haired brush, but it looks very different. So as you can see, it's very, very different from the fan brush. So this is a more precise highlighter brush and it allows you to put the highlighter really precisely in the areas that you want it. The fan brush, you can also put it precisely, but when I put it on, I'm just kind of like boom. But yeah, this brush allows you to have more control of where you're placing your highlighter. So if you're trying to be like really put together, or if you don't like highlighter everywhere, this would be a good brush for you because you can take the highlighter and place it exactly where you want it. And this brush will be really easy to blend your highlighter with too. And yeah, so it's just on preference on which one you would prefer, if you kind of want something that covers a larger surface or if you want something that's more precise and you have more control of it. But they both work really good and I kind of alternate between the two. And alright guys, so my last face brush is the blush brush, and this is the Real Techniques blush brush and it looks like this. So like I was saying before, I like my blush brushes to be a little more fluffy because I don't like something that's too packed. Like I was telling you guys, this one, I don't like it to be too dense where the color just transfers right onto my face. I like my blush brush to be fluffy so that I can put the product on but not have to worry about it slapping onto my face and then I have to sit there and blend it forever. So this brush is so good at applying highlighter, and you can get this at the drugstore, at Walmart and Ulta and stuff like that. It's really affordable, and I just really like the way it applies. I've tried other brushes for blush, but nothing really beats this because I just really like the shape. It kind of slants like this. I don't know if you can tell, but it is kind of at a slant like that. Once you pick up the product, it's so nice to put in the apples of your cheeks, and then it just goes so nicely, and I like to drag it upwards into my highlighter so it blends my highlighter too, and it applies really nicely, and it's really soft on the skin. So yeah, this brush is really good. Alright guys, so that brings us to the end of the video. Those are all the brushes I use to put on my face makeup. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful and informative for you guys. But yeah, if you end up getting any of these brushes, then please do let me know how you like them. And yeah, I really hope you guys like this video. And please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time.